The brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp, brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp. The brothers.
You're now listening to Greg. It's the brothers
At the
Wisp.
end of our presentation, we'll have a Q&A. So, if you guys have questions, just write them down, and we'll get to all of them. So I want to talk about our link calculator. I can't tell you how many times every day, so I'm the front man for social media, and I'm the one that gets all the questions, and most of the customers interface with me. And I get this question either at the booth or online about, how far can this antenna go, right? So what's the antennas we have? And so we have this great link calculator on our website. So I want to just talk about our link calculator. It gives you the ability to go in there and pick, which one of our antenna platforms you want to use, and drop a pin where your customer is and see kind of the distances. We allow you to adjust down tilt, right? So down tilt is another question that we get asked often about how much down tilt to use. Our link calculator will tell you that. It also allows you to adjust the MCS level, right? So if you're using, let's say like an air fiber that's doing 1024 QAM, you can adjust the MCS right there to see the respective distance based on the MCS level capabilities of your radio. So it's a great tool. Again, we have it on our website, so I'd like you guys to definitely check that out. Another update is our stock locator. So the RF Element stock locator is again online. Most of our distributors are listed on the stock locator. So if you're looking for product, just go to this page, pick the product, and let you know real time which distributors have them. So you're not going to have to wait for an email or have somebody send emails to you. You'll actually get them online because we're tied in through APIs into our vendor's inventory system. So it's another great tool for you. Social media. Again, social media is a great place to find information. I love talking about our product, but really, you need to hear, if you haven't used our product yet, you need to hear from actual users. Social media. Again, social media is a great place to find information. I love talking about our product, but really, you need to hear, if you haven't used our product yet, you need to hear from actual users, actual WISPs, and how they're using our antennas and how they're really working for them. So there's a lot of information on all our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we're on it. It's a great resource for you to, again, get feedback from actual WISPs using our products. And then our TWISTPORT developer system. So we have a program where we somewhat openly license our TWISTPORT ecosystem, right? So we're supporting other radio manufacturers if they choose to want to tap into our antenna product line. We can allow them to create a radio based on our TWISTPORT system. This is really the ultimate goal. If you look at our TWISTPORT connectors and all the adapters we have, that's great, but really having the radios designed as a waveguide interface from the get-go without adapters is the best method. So we actually have a licensing program for, again, third-party vendors if they want to build radio systems, and hopefully we'll see in the future these things start changing, and maybe we'll start seeing some radio manufacturers actually building their radios with our interface to be able to use our radios rather than creating multiple proprietary mechanisms to do that, and therefore you're tied into one specific vendor. We want to be open, right? We want to be open. We want everybody's radios to work with our antennas, so that way, you have the freedom and flexibility to move around. So this is something that's coming down the pipe. And then our new products. So you guys have. Okay. So let's talk about new products, what I think most people are coming from. So again, we've kind of changed the industry when we first introduced our first SYMMETRICAL. Ultrahorn came after that. So now we're addressing yet another issue, right? So we keep looking at the feedback that's coming from customers, and we're trying to address all the issues with our technology our way. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the asymmetrical horn TWISTPORT antenna. So we have three new antennas now. We have a 30-degree sector, a 60-degree sector, and a 90-degree sector with an asymmetrical beam pattern. So you get all the great beam performance that we had before with our symmetrical in an asymmetric pattern. So now you get that more narrow vertical beam with wider horizontal beams with increased gain, right? So for those rural areas where, you don't have the ability or you don't really have the user base in order to install multiple horns, you want less horns for more coverage, we have an asymmetrical beam pattern for that. So you still get the wideband beam performance as well, right? So as you start changing frequencies, the beam pattern is way more stable than a symmetrical sector. So we're able to, again, give you the asymmetrical pattern that you've been looking for, more of the sector feel as far as beam pattern goes, but with all the benefits of noise isolation, absolutely no side lobes, and great performance. So we go from your traditional sector to now the RF pattern of an asymmetrical horn antenna. Again, just like all our antennas, they all have the same common interface, right? So they all have the same TWISTPORT radio or TWISTPORT adapter you're using with the original symmetrical horns. You can go in between, so there's no change to that, so everything's the same. But it's a very unique design, how it's constructed and how it's put together. Again, we're using, all rustless type metals, right? So aluminum, stainless steel, and high-grade plastics for all our builds. The same stuff we've been using for a long time. The availability will be February of 2019, so that's right around the corners. A bit sooner, but February 2019 is the delivery date that we're looking for all three models. So whether you need a 16 dB 90-degree horn compared to our previous 90-degree, which is only like 10 dB, so it's about 6 dB increase for the same width. It's quite impressive. Or a 60-degree at 17 dB, so it's again, you're getting way more gain now from a much wider beam, or a 20.5 dB 30-degree asymmetrical pattern. All three again will be available by February of 2019. Symmetrical horn carrier class Gen 2, right? So this is the same carrier class, but Generation 2 is now being released. They're actually available right now. So if you're looking for the Generation 2 carrier class horns, they're available. In the 10-degree steps will all be available. So let's talk about some of the Gen 2 improvements. So we get a lot of questions about the Gen 2. So Generation 2 had a lot of upgrades, more from the user experience thing. The bracket was easier, the radome was more robust. Changing from left side of the pole to right side of the pole mounting is a lot easier with Gen 2. But the RF performance is actually improved as well. The biggest improvement you'll see is in the VSWR, right? So we have much better, much lower VSWR across the whole spectrum, which actually gives us better gain performance across the whole spectrum. And then again, we've increased or we've changed the actual build, right, itself, and how it's put together and how it assembles and how it's used. Gen 2 also has some ecological packaging, right? So no more styrofoam and other stuff in the boxes. We're also releasing now the carrier class for the ultra horn. So for all the customers out there, B5C with our horn antenna, or you've been wanting to use the new Cambium, the PNP 550 series line, we now have a connectorized ultra horn for all those radios where the form factor doesn't suit having an actual adapter. So again, let's talk just a little bit about the noise isolation difference, right? So if we really compare a horn-based point-to-point antenna to a parabolic dish antenna, there's absolutely no comparison in the noise isolation that you get from it by having zero side lobes. So it's a really great improvement. And again, if we kind of compare what the pattern looks like between a parabolic dish and a horn, you can clearly see how much more uniform. And this uniformity is what translates into more stable connections and higher MCS rates. Our ultra horn is built like a tank. I mean, it really is. It's if anybody who hasn't seen it yet, please stop by our booth and look at how it's built. It's again really sturdy. It's an awfully large antenna, right? But again, the mounting system for it is very robust. And again, they're available now. TWISTPORT adapter for ISO and prism stations are also available. This recently came out. It's been on the market for a little bit, but just an update. So we have an adapter if you want to convert radio to still use our horn antennas. And we have compatibility for all, the ISO station, the Prism station, as well as the LTU new form factor that they're coming out. New form factor that they're coming out with. TWISTPORT adapter for air fiber and Prism. So this is again a new product that's already available on. Allows you to use either the Prism radio or the air fiber radio all in one adapter. So you're able to have basically four. It's Gen 1, Gen 2 Prism, and then you have air fiber 5X and the HD. So all four of those radios are perfectly compatible, and it really gives you the ability to kind of migrate and grow. Right, you start with Prism, then you might want to go to LTU. This one adapter will allow you to do that without having to change that. As part of Gen 2, you get the same wideband performance, right? So you get really low VSWR and very stable gain across the spectrum. So as you change channels, your gain isn't changing as you're changing frequencies, and therefore gives you higher reliability. TWISTPORT adapter for router board. So this is the Gen 2 feed for anybody who's using Microtech. So this is the router boards. That's going to be available in January of 2019. The TWISTPORT adapter for router board in metal. Sorry. There we go. So TWISTPORT adapter for router boards in all die-cast aluminum. So you get much better isolation. That's going to be available. That's available now and at distributors. And it's really made for the M11G board, but you could also put 911s, 711s, 411s, all the different square form factor boards will actually work in that enclosure. And then we, again, have the same wideband performance. So there's a lot of stability. One of the greatest changes with Generation 2 is the stability of the product from one radio platform to another, right? So you get the same flat gain and the same low VSWR across all the different hardware platforms. And then finally, we have the TWISTPORT adapter, the connectorized for a very long time. Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. So the TWISTPORT adapter is, for again, the radio platforms that don't have a TWISTPORT adapter for. You can now use our connectorized TWISTPORT adapter in order to use all these other radio platforms. Different antennas. We may not make a carrier class antenna for every product that we have. So again, if you require using one of our antennas with a radio platform that there is no adapter for, we have the TWISTPORT adapter with SMA connectors on it now. These should be available in December of 2018. We hope to make 5 gigahertz great again and continue innovating our innovations to the industry. So from here we'll go into the Q&A. So if people have questions, we'll start taking them. I'll be happy to answer all of them. No questions? Yeah.
Go to the mic or
We can probably just hear you. I hear you.
do you hear me? Well, I really don't have a question.
Right.
I have a comment.
Oh.
But yeah, so at 10:30 this morning, our time, a class Category 4 hurricane hit my network, 21 miles away. We're out of Destin, Florida, and we use RF horns and twist locks. We didn't have a single outage. 110 mile an hour winds.
Okay.
I guess that
I hope.
68 rated.
What's that?
I guess they're IP68 rated.
I don't know. I think 67. I'm not sure. They're built really well. I'm happy that hopefully everybody's okay. I'm happy that hopefully everybody's okay. Your family and stuff. Yes, sir.
How much degree for the antenna of air fiber 5X for the on type?
It depends on the antenna, right? So we have everything from, you're talking about the ultra horn, the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 15 degrees beam width, yeah. Yes?
Are these new antennas still measured to the neg 6?
Absolutely, yeah. So our spec sheets show everything neg 3 and neg 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, to kind of keep with the standard of everybody else in the industry, so that way when we say 90, it's comparable to everybody else's 90, still at the negative 6, correct. Anybody else? Okay. So just one more piece of information about the asymmetrical horns, right? So, you know, there's some differences between our asymmetrical horns and some other ones that are on the market. So asymmetrical is only in the shape of the beam. They're still symmetrical in the fact that the vertical and horizontal beam are exactly the same shape, right? So with some other products that are out there, you'll see that the vertical is one size and horizontal is another, so they're not symmetrical in matching both polarities. It's only asymmetrical in the beam pattern where the vertical and the horizontal width, right, the azimuth is not the same size. Any other questions? Yes?
Any plans to jump into different frequencies?
Yeah, we're definitely looking into that. We're looking at a few different frequencies and a few different areas to go into, but you know, LTE is really 3 gig is the big talk of the town now. So there's a good possibility that you'll probably see something. Yes?
Are you going to make any higher gain backhaul antennas?
Yeah, I mean, our product pipe is quite large, right? So, I mean, the future and what's coming down the pipe, I mean, definitely more gain is in the picture. Definitely more gains in the picture, so I think yes.
What do you think it'll go up to?
I don't know. We'll just have to see, right? But definitely more gain. You're definitely going to see different size antennas coming from us, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
With the higher gain TWISTPORT, so we've got what 9 dBi extra. Are we going to see any further distance with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole idea behind the asymmetrical sector, right? So if you look at the use case for rural deployments, right? The people don't have the customer density, right? They don't have enough customers around their tower to afford putting up 12, 30 degree horns, right? So for those kind of customers now, the 90 degree asymmetrical horn that we have has 16 dB of gain. So yes, it's about 6 dB more than the original 90 degree round symmetrical horn. So absolutely, you're going to go much further distances. And again, it's the use case for not using a sector in rural deployments, basically. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Radomes for the dishes, maybe?
Probably not. In the current ones, they are quite small. If we go larger, you'd probably see them for sure.
Greg, it's the Brothers Wisp. Let's take a ride through space on this mothership. Wireless networking. We talk about equipment and methodology, so sit back and start learning. Lighten up the tower so people can start searching. Shooting up the web in neighborhoods, net surfing. We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying, but we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission. I'm telling you, you don't know what you are missing. Ideas and some good comedy given. If you missed the show already, don't worry, you're forgiven.